There are two forms of worship, which are idol worship and idol worship. The etymology of idol ending with the letters LE means worthless or useless, and the etymology of idol, spelled with an OL, means image or phantom. When you sit around inside of a church, a temple, or at home and worship something that's unseen or not verified through confirmation, that's idol worship, which means it's useless and pointless. The Quran 2 verses 3 states that this is the book for those who believe in the unseen. Hebrews 11:27 and Colossians 1 verses 5 states that God is unseen and invisible. When you worship nothing or some spiritual force not seen, heard, or smelled and tasted, even if you give it a name, that's idol worship, because if you can't see or touch something, how do you know if it's there? When you worship a person, a statue, a celebrity, or any religious figure, that's idol worship. Religious people would place God in a heaven or on a throne or in a person or rock or even plasma form known as ether and worship it away from themselves. For example, in the book of Genesis relating to religion, teaches you that God breathed the breath of life in you and you became a living soul. People would take that part or essence of God outside of them and place it away from themselves, instead of relying on the inner you and creative you or the God in you. When you're not restricted by faith and belief, you're in a state of esoteric. The opposite would be exoteric, because you're relying on the outside forces or influences instead of the divine in you. Now, the idols you should worship should be yourselves and your great ancestor that lives inside of you through your DNA, blood, and cells, instead of celebrities. Through reasoning, you know they existed because you exist. Your parents exist, and their parents existed until you go beyond to when they existed. This soul seed link would take you back to the source of all, or the underlying reality, before a person, place, or thing grew into existence. For example, the ancient Egyptians had a direct connection and relationship with all of nature, and instead of being content with just a single figure, they looked inside of themselves to make that inner journey. Once you understand the underlying reality, you would come to the realization that all of these factors emerge from a single source or field of consciousness that expresses itself through different degrees and density levels. That field of consciousness or awareness in you, or the conscious etheric gases that animates and lives through all things, is the source that you become one with, and not see yourself as being separate or away from it.